Are the 49ers going to get this right? What is up, Niner gang? I hope everybody's having a good evening, better than they did yesterday. I think we all had a little bit of therapy last night. It was pretty great. It was like almost a 3-hour therapy session on the 49ers last night. Had a great time. Everybody that tuned in was awesome. I even fell super far behind on the comments, but it was great, man. I love it. Love having everybody in here and all that stuff. But we have a lot to go over, man. There was still a lot of stuff that we didn't go over last night, but there is some news as well today. If you guys haven't heard, I'm sure you have, but Devo has been announced that he has a hamstring issue that happened during the game against the Chiefs yesterday. So as of right now, he's day to day. We'll see if he's going to play against the Rams this weekend. I think he is going to, but you want to be careful with that. With now having Christian McCaffrey on the squad, I don't feel the need for Debo as much. I think we could whoop the Rams, even if Debo's not out there. If our O-line can continue to execute the way they have against the Rams, not like they did against the Chiefs, man, because they were not giving Garoppolo really any time to go through reads yesterday. So I'm hoping the O-line can execute against the Rams. And as long as Garoppolo gets time in the pocket, he seems to be able to execute the offense pretty well. And he has guys like Ayuk, Jennings, McCaffrey. Now, the thing is, Kyle Juszczyk as well was announced today that, I think we all saw his broken finger yesterday. Looked pretty horrific in a way, I guess you could say. I saw it bent like sideways, like if his pinky's like this, it was sticking out this way like I don't even know. But he's gonna I guess he's going under the knife, getting surgery on his finger. He won't be playing against the Rams this weekend, and so we're gonna have to just see how that goes, if they're gonna cast it up, wrap it up and everything, and let him play when we come back from the bye against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Curious to see how that plays out, because it is just his pinky. They can probably just tape it up to where they put a splint on it and tape it to his ring finger and just see how that works out. Now, how big of a receiving threat will he be at that point if they end up doing that? We're just going to have to wait and see. But he's really great, man. Like Juszczyk, I think people forget or don't realize how big of a weapon he is for the 49ers' offense. Like, he's just really super smart, and he helps even the O-line with scheming up the protections, like calling out the protections and stuff like that pre-snap. So he's pretty critical to this offense. Hopefully we could get him back in, but you want to be careful, man, because geez, that finger looked pretty bad yesterday. If you guys didn't see it, it was bent the other way, almost like Trey Lance's ankle. But yeah, man, I hope you guys are all having a better night. The Debo, we all kind of knew what happened with Juszczyk. I think we all saw it like on the broadcast. The Debo thing is kind of like more news than what the Kyle Juszczyk stuff is, but at least it's day to day as of right now. It's not something that's super critical, something you want to panic about completely yet, especially since even if Debo doesn't play against the Rams, I'm sure we could beat them, like I said. Then we go into the bye week. That's 2 weeks of rest for Debo if he doesn't play this week. And even if he does, you play this week. While you take all of practice off, you just play on Sunday. Then you take a week off for the bye. Come back, you get an extra day because of the Monday Night Football game against the Chargers as well. So regardless, Debo should have some good time to rest up and be back for the second stretch of the season. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the Rams, man. the 49ers, they showed some good things yesterday, and I hope we get started. You get you guys started in the comments here soon. Don't know if I'm going to do a call in tonight. Probably will, but current state of the 49ers. I'm going to put it up here on the banner below. Man, this is a rough one because no, I'm sure you guys saw the title of the video, the thumbnail, and all that. And I've been wondering. I know I talked about it yesterday. If you guys didn't hear, I was talking about it with Shifty from 49ers Talk, Shifty's 49ers Talk yesterday. And I mentioned it. I was like, I kind of just asked him what his opinion was on trading for Harbaugh because, in my opinion, the way things are looking, it's definitely not out of the question, and it's starting to look like a sweet deal if Jed York were to kiss his ass and work out all the kinks that to make Jim Harbaugh happy to come back to the 49ers. I saw interviews where Jim Harbaugh was talking about his time with the 49ers when he was here, and he said it was the time of his life. And, you can take that, if you want to take it and run with it, you could take it as a hint as I would love to be back. Like that was one of the greatest times in my life. I would love to have that again. And so, take that for what it's worth. And I don't know, man, with the way, like I was saying yesterday as well, Kyle Shanahan, you can't start every season off 3-5 and just hope that you get things right and go into the postseason with momentum and just start bulldozing through teams and get hot, right? It's probably not always going to be the case, man. I would rather have a whole lot of confidence in this team. And I felt like when we had Harbaugh, it was a lot less iffy. Things were a lot more certain. The team was a lot healthier on a regular basis. We were winning a lot more games consistently. It wasn't like this up and down roller coaster like we have with Kyle Shanahan. I would like to know how many people here remember those times with Jim Harbaugh. I'm sure we have some new 49er fans in here, or like from the recent couple years, because not all 49er fans have been 49er fans since like the 80s and 90s. We have had fans jump on later. So some fans that are with the 49ers now that are part of the faithful, part of the Niner gang, part of the Niner empire, whatever you want to call it, maybe they weren't here or part of the fan base when Harbaugh was here, so they don't know how it was. But it was great, man. Super consistent. We were always winning. Team was always healthy. It was just awesome. And you had a lot of confidence in this team, no matter who the quarterback was. Now, for me personally, I was way more confident when we had Alex Smith at quarterback. I know like Colin Kaepernick blew up onto the scene. I think part of it was, he wasn't there the full season when Alex Smith got hurt. He was kind of new to the whole league. And so there wasn't really the film to study that teams had to study. And it's like he was just a hot commodity. And he had a good couple games where he was super hot and putting up huge numbers. But for me, he just wasn't consistent enough. It was hit or miss. And I really didn't like that about him. What I liked about Alex Smith, and yeah, he was more vanilla, right? Alex Smith. But the thing was, he added that consistency. Like I knew what I was getting, and he was very solid, man. And it really pissed me off too, because he never really got the chance to meet his full potential, I felt, man, because he had great running plays himself. And so I don't know why that wasn't established more in the 49ers offense. We saw great plays like that lead block from Joe Staley for a touchdown against the Saints. It was like a 25-yard run or something like that. But yeah, man, I miss those days. That was some good times, man. Got the homie Shifty right here. My boy Shifty. Congrats on 100+ subscribers. Keep it up, man. Hey, Shifty, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. That was pretty badass. It kind of just shot up out of nowhere, and it was great. Had a great show yesterday. Thank you, Shifty, for contributing. As always, man, you have great points, and I love to pick your brain a little bit. I mentioned you a little while ago on talking about the Harbaugh stuff, because you disagree with me, but I'm still kind of feeling that Harbaugh thing, man, and it's still being talked about. I think for good reason. Um, I want to wait till a few more people drop in and start talking about it, but at this point, the way things are looking, yeah, we might beat the Rams, man, and we have to. If the 49ers want to compete, you know, a 3-5 start is pretty bad. I know we rolled into the postseason last year, but like the thing is too, you guys saw some snaps from Purdy, I'm sure, towards the end of the game yesterday, right? And me coming from like the preseason, the stuff we saw from him, I liked what I saw from Purdy, but I was being realistic. I was like, okay, that's preseason though. That's not against starters in the NFL. And neither was yesterday. The Chiefs ended up taking out a lot of their starters. So Purdy was going up against like second and third string players for the Chiefs. And so that was my question about that whole Purdy situation. And so what I saw was not very good, if I'm being honest, man. Seems like him and the receivers were not on the same page really at all, except for whatever reason, Ray McLeod, I guess you could say because Purdy and McLeod were like on the second team offense. So I think that contributed to a lot of the chemistry there. But still, it didn't look great, man. And he can put it together. But the thing is Garoppolo going to stay healthy for the rest of the season? And that has yet to be seen. And especially if you get out to like a 3-5 start, you don't have a Trey Lance to get you those must-win games like last year where we had the 3-5 start. Jimmy gets hurt. Trey Lance has to come in a couple games and has to win a must-win game for us to get into the postseason. So we had to beat the Texans that game, right? Trey Lance gets it done in very nice fashion, in my opinion. If you guys ask me, I thought, he started out slow like he did in a few of the games that he did last year, but comes out with a lot more confidence in the second half and shows a lot of potential that what he can really do, especially from a brain standpoint, like a thinking standpoint, processing and maybe calming his nerves, his poise and all that stuff. So that was something that really encouraged me about Trey Lance, just seeing the difference between one half to the next, not just the scheme, but just how his poise developed from one half of a game to another was really quick, like on the drop of a dime, I guess you could say. But, if the 49ers lose against the Rams and the way we just looked against the Chiefs, the Rams could be smelling the blood in the water right now, ready to attack like great white sharks, right? And I think they're going to be ready to pounce, man. So the 49ers better be ready. We're going to Levi's South, SoFi Stadium. So we're going to be in the Rams' house, supposedly. There's probably still going to be more Niner fans there than Rams fans. Rams fans. Can't even talk right now. But yeah, man, I think Rams are going to be smelling blood in the water and they're going to be ready to pounce, take advantage of the 49ers when they're at their lowest. So the 49ers have to be ready, man. If you go into the bye week 3-5, I think you're going to lose a lot of hope from not just the 49er fans, but from the locker room. There's a lot of things going on right now, like interviews, post-game interviews with like Ayuk, Kittle, where they're kind of subtly taking shots at Kyle Shanahan, where maybe they're really not, but from what they're saying, that's what it sounds like. That's what a lot of people are pointing to, because they're saying, hey, we're not getting it done on offense. We're not getting the ball in playmakers' hands at the right times. And what are we going to attribute that to? And we have to correct that. Well, who's in charge of getting the ball into the playmakers' hands at the right time, right? That's the scheme thing. That's the play calling thing. Yeah, Garoppolo has to deliver the ball to that person, but the scheme has to fit that, right? And at the right time. So that's Kyle Shanahan. He has to take care of all that stuff. And so those shots are being taken at Kyle Shanahan right now. And really, this isn't the first time this has happened. Like we all saw the replay, the slow motion replay where Garoppolo was caught on camera saying your plays suck, man. And that was real shit, you know. I'm not a professional lip reader, but that was pretty damn obvious. You know, they slowed it down and everything, so it didn't leave your brain up to too much imagination. But you know, I'm just it's not looking good right now for Kyle Shanahan. He's been in this position before, but now it's the players. You know, last year, um, you know, the Yorks came in, they watched practice when we were 3-5. We're not 3-5 yet, but we're 3-4. We're one game away from the possibility of being 3-5. So the Yorks came in, and right away we had a get right game. And it's crazy the position that we're in right now, because last year we're at 3-5. We end up coming out of the gate once the Yorks visit practice, and everybody thinks that Kyle Shanahan's on the hot seat, and John Lynch as well, actually. And so um, we ended up having the get right game against the Rams. So very similar situation. We're 3-5 last year, 3-4 this year. Now we're going to play the Rams. This could be another get right game for us. Um, Now the difference being last year, that was the first time that regular season that we faced the Rams. And from what I've seen over every regular season that Kyle Shanahan has been here, for the most part, the second time we face the Rams in the regular season is always a lot tougher than the first time. It's usually a way closer game. For example, last year, first, you know, we go 3-5. We have a get right game against the Rams. I forget what the score was right now, but we whooped their ass pretty damn bad, right? We played them last game of the season, week 18. We play the Rams again. We're losing. Jimmy Garoppolo leads a beautiful drive down the field to score a touchdown, take the game to overtime. Um, that says it right there. We whooped their ass the first time. Second time we go to overtime, and Garoppolo has to be super clutch to help win us the game. That tends to happen every single season. Definitely remember, like in the 2019 was the same thing. 2019 season, the Rams, we whooped their ass. The first time we whooped their ass. Second time they come out with a bunch of play action shots, drive the ball down the field to get off to a hot start. And the game ends up being like really close, like 34-31, I think the score was. So the 49ers have to be ready, especially at a time where the Rams are smelling blood in the water. They definitely have eyes on the 49ers right now. They see them in the fetal position, in a sort of speak, right? That's how I see it. And actually, one of my buddies who I talked about before, who is a Rams fan and kind of went into hiding when we beat them this last game. He started hiding. He left me on red and stopped replying to my messages during the game, like at halftime. So I talked to him. I'm gonna try and get him on the show and just get a Rams fan's perspective and maybe talk a little shit back and forth on 49ers Rams week. So not sure what day we're gonna do that yet, but as of right now, I'm supposed to have Jesse Naylor do a co-stream with myself on Thursday. So hopefully all that pans out. Do a show with Jesse Naylor. If you guys don't know who Jesse Naylor is from Last Second Sports, does the show with Grant Cohn as well. Who else does he do a show with? He kind of collaborates with a lot of guys like Ryan G. Hensley, Grant Cohn. He has his own show, and as of right now, he says he has Thursdays open. So me and Jesse Naylor, hopefully on Thursday, should be doing the co-stream. He hasn't canceled on me yet, and vice versa. So unless there's a badass Thursday night football game that we want to watch, which I don't know who's playing on Thursday yet. But you know, actually, speaking of Thursday night football, I don't know if you guys saw that Mac Jones, he just got benched for the rookie Bailey Zapp. I wasn't watching the game, and so I don't know exactly what's happened, but from the sound of it, you know, like Mac Jones has been looking kind of rough this season. He got hurt. Bailey Zapp steps in, starts looking better than Mac Jones. kind of the same thing happened in this game today against the Bears, where I guess Mac Jones is coming back from injury. He's looking rough. He gets benched. And, because I'm not watching the game, but, from the sound of it, he got benched. They said he got replaced by Bailey Zapp, the rookie. And first drive for Bailey Zapp as quarterback, the rookie, goes down and scores a touchdown. And from before that, I think the Bears were leading 10-0. And the last time I checked after I got that notification was the Bears were down now 14-10. I don't know what the score is now, but yeah, crazy stuff. Something to keep an eye on, just out of curiosity. That's some crazy stuff, man. A lot of people wanted Mac Jones. A lot of people say that Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, and that's like another toxic trait that Kyle Shanahan has, and why I consider big time getting a guy like Jim Harbaugh. If we can possibly get Jim Harbaugh back in house, and I don't think I would be sad at all. I feel bad for Kyle Shanahan, but his ego is so big that he doesn't correct himself at least soon enough. Like usually by the time he corrects things, it's already too late. Like he still hasn't fixed the injury bug. Seems like there's a lot of coaches that don't have that problem. Like I said earlier, when we had Jim Harbaugh, pretty consistently, all our playmakers, all our stars were on the field most of the time. So that's something to look at, man. And that's just one thing. If you ask me, as far as can this be a hit to Trey Lance, if we get rid of Kyle Shanahan, oh man, and especially if we get draft capital or something for him, or a couple players for him or something like that, if we could get something for Kyle Shanahan as well. And I know it's super early to talk about this in the season. He can still get right, and we can still go to the playoffs, win the Super Bowl and all this stuff. But as of right now, the way we're looking at it right now, it's not looking good. I don't want to barely skate into the playoffs like last year, have a road game over and over again, because if we would have had at least one home game last year in the playoffs, we probably don't go into that NFC championship so beat up. And I think people kind of take that for granted. And so it is a big factor when you're getting jet lagged back and forth during the playoffs. There's no break in between the postseason and the regular season. So you're going against the top teams of the league with no break in between. You're getting jet lagged, flown all over the place. Just no break to recuperate from injuries, from getting beaten, battered. So you want to do your best to get the number 1 seed, number 2 seed or something. Try and get a home game. So when you start the season at like 3-4, 3-5, you it starts to look bad really quick in my eyes. So, with Harbaugh, I think Harbaugh coming to the 49ers game on Sunday yesterday against the Chiefs, I think it put a magnifying glass on the whole situation. It was like the craziest timing. Now, if the 49ers take care of business against the Falcons, lose a close game to the Chiefs, or, at least not in bad a fashion as they did yesterday, then I think we're having a very different conversation. I don't think it's even in question. I think we, kind of reminisce a little bit about the Harbaugh era, but, it's not really like, oh, hey, Jed York, can you please talk to him and kiss his ass and try and get him back in here? But because of the way the past few weeks have been going, this is actually a conversation now. And I think it's rightfully so. I don't think I'm crazy for having this conversation. And everybody that I see watching the video right now, I would love for you guys to talk about it. If any of you guys want to call in, I'll drop the link in the comments as well. If you think we should try and get Harbaugh back in here, or whether you think we shouldn't, and why we shouldn't. Now, for me, when I look at it, a lot of people don't want to get rid of Kyle Shanahan because they feel that Trey Lance is tied to Kyle Shanahan, and a lot of people want to see Trey Lance, right? But there's a lot of people that still want Garoppolo to stay and are still super happy that he's here. Now, I'm happy that he's here because of the injury that happened to Trey Lance, but I still wanted Trey Lance as the quarterback because we've seen this show with Garoppolo over and over and over again. and I feel like I know the outcome. Super close games, nail biters, heart palpitations every damn game of the postseason. And that's another thing. Like Garoppolo, he doesn't do very good in the playoffs. So when it comes to me, if you bring Harbaugh in here, the history that we saw during the Harbaugh era is he had success with both of his quarterbacks. Alex Smith, who everybody wanted to throw out the damn window, who a lot of people were booing off the field and said he was garbage and trash. In my eyes, he never got the right circumstances to win. Different offensive coordinators and stuff like that every single year, just complete dysfunction since he got here. Finally gets things going because Harbaugh gets here and adds some sort of structure, and you see Alex Smith have success in that. Gets cut short, but you have success with Colin Kaepernick, go to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. So if Jim Harbaugh could do that with somebody who not a lot of people were even looking at in the draft, with Colin Kaepernick coming out of Nevada, imagine what he could do with Trey Lance, man. I think Trey Lance is way more gifted than Colin Kaepernick in my eyes. Still some things he needs to work on, but Jim Harbaugh was a quarterback, and I think that attributes a lot of that success that he had as at the professional level of playing quarterback, with his head coaching ability and just overall personality is like another thing, which I'm going to put up on the screen now too, is this is a thought I had earlier. Bring Harbaugh back. Kyle Shanahan is like a bad computer / robot that doesn't get updates. That's how I see it, man. We have to talk about the corrections so often that Kyle Shanahan needs to make. And it's like he doesn't get it until like the whole world is talking about it. Like, dude, do you not see what the fans are seeing? And you're the professional. You're supposed to be the professional. So that's why I say he's like a computer, like an old computer that doesn't get updates. He's just stuck in the same ways all the time until you like have to break open the computer and like put a new chip in or something, right? And like, the reason I say he's like a robot too is like this guy's kind of like a C-3PO from Star Wars, or just like any type of robot that doesn't have any emotion. He's super weird, like super emotionally awkward, like with his personality. He doesn't have the ability to motivate his players like on a personal level. Like this season is one of the few times that I've ever seen Kyle Shanahan actually talk with Jimmy Garoppolo in a positive way at all. And I don't know why. I don't know if he's trying to kiss his ass to try and have him stay here for next year. But and I wouldn't doubt it either. You guys might call me crazy, man, but hey, they already showed us they're willing to keep Garoppolo if the price is right. So, if we're going to next year, and they want to hedge their bets again, I could see Garoppolo staying here. He's not looking so great. He's not, putting up a whole lot of points and saving the offense. So all the teams that had the chance to get him this year that didn't even try or whatever, probably won't try next year either. This coming up off season. So who knows what's going to happen with the whole Garoppolo situation next year. But to get back to it, Kyle Shanahan is just super robotic, super like socially awkward. That's the word I was looking for. And just doesn't know how to motivate his players the way Harbaugh did, man. Harbaugh is like a raw guy. At least he was. He's a little older now. I was talking about it yesterday. He looks a little worse of the wear, kind of like Kyle Shanahan. When he got here, he looked super young, right? Now he's all like how the Barack Obama made that transformation where he's like super stressed out, and now he's got all these gray hairs and stuff. Jim Harbaugh kind of looks that same way, right? If you guys saw him, if you guys saw any videos or pictures from that when he was visiting the 49ers, yeah, he's got a lot more gray hair now, man. So he's probably more chilled out, but still, he's still got that fire in his heart. So I would love to see what Harbaugh could do with Trey Lance. And that could be part of the deal too. Like Jed York tells him, look, dude, I'm kissing your ass again. I'm sorry. And this, I think Jim Harbaugh and John Lynch could be a great team. I think, in my eyes, because one of the reasons that Jim Harbaugh ran out the door was probably Trent Baalke, right? Super hard headed dude, wants everything his way, and sometimes that makes for really great teams when you have a head coach and a general manager that don't see eye to eye because they have different perspectives. So it just works out because the general manager, really his profession is getting these players and working out all the contract stuff and everything like that for the most part, and then the head coach can more focus on the scheme and all that stuff. And so you got the general manager who's professional at doing what he's doing, the head coach doing what he's doing professionally. But here you got a situation where Kyle Shanahan wants to override everything and be in charge of everything. And so he kind of has too much power. But if you bring a guy in like Harbaugh, who knows what the hell he's doing, he's shown that even when him and the general manager butt heads, that he can overcome that and make it work, you know? And John Lynch is a guy who's kind of more like just the face of the franchise. It doesn't seem like he's going to be at your throat, like telling you, no, we're getting this guy, kiss my ass, suck it up, Jim Harbaugh, you got to deal with it, or even Kyle Shanahan for that matter, right? So I think if you were to get Jim Harbaugh in here, John Lynch would just work with him as a great teammate. They work in tandem and make things work in a really great way. And I could see a lot of good things coming out of that. And just, make it part of the deal. Trey Lance is here to stay. We gave up all this capital for him. He's our quarterback of the future. So we want you to develop him and maybe even find a great backup quarterback because, that's kind of what Jim Harbaugh did when he was here. He helped Alex Smith have success as well as draft a new guy. And I forget what round Colin Kaepernick was drafted in, but he brings in a backup quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, who's also a really good athlete and pretty good quarterback, right? So yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Let me see. I haven't checked the comments, but yeah, you guys jump in the comments, please. If you guys want to call in, let me know. Jump. I'll throw the link in the comments. But yeah, it's just me for now. Stand by. But the thing is, guys, like, okay. I want to know what you guys think about how the 49ers, like, how they're looking right now as well. Now, we definitely have the chance where the 49ers can have the get right game and everything, right? But just as of right now, the defense is looking terrible. The offensive line looked terrible against a formidable pass rush. And they made Jimmy Garoppolo look pretty bad against the Chiefs defense with, of course, Jimmy Garoppolo, he makes those mistakes himself too. But when the O-line isn't helping you out and you're having almost no time to throw, you saw how uncomfortable Jimmy Garoppolo was in the pocket yesterday. And I think that's just what it boils down to, man. Everybody's talking about McGlinchey now. Like, we haven't known. Now it's really kind of he got exposed big time on TV yesterday was what I think happened. But this has been happening for years. It's been known for a long time that McGlinchey's not a good pass protector. He's not great at that. That's not his strong suit. He's here more for the run game. Which is weird too, because the run game was working yesterday, especially like, a lot of people didn't even think that McCaffrey was going to play yesterday. I was one of the people that was like, hell yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to play because this is almost a must-win game, a get-right game. You have to at least compete and show some balls in this game. You have to show something against a good team, against somebody who a lot of people feel are going to be in the AFC Championship this year, right? And so, yeah, man, like we're gonna have what, three? If D'Amico Ryan's stays, we'll probably have 2 third rounders. As long as, actually, you know what? I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about the trade deadline first, because trade deadline November 1st. What day are we on today? Like 10/25, October 25th, I think. Okay, we're on the 24th. Trade deadline is in a week. We have 1 week till we can't make any more trades. And I've been saying, like, I got my bro Brian in here right now. I'm gonna put him up on screen. But I've been saying, Brian knows this. I've been saying for weeks, since Emmanuel Mosley went down, we need to go get an outside corner. We've seen how bad this defense looked against the Falcons, and that's the Falcons, man. They should not have done what they did against us. That's legit. They never should have been able to do what they did against our defense, all because Emmanuel Mosley went down. If Emmanuel Mosley was in that game, I don't think the Falcons even get to 14 points, at least not with touchdowns. It's going to be field goals. Maybe they get to 17 or something, 16. But, we're starting to see a pretty big sample size of what happens when Emmanuel Mosley's gone. And he's starting to show his how valuable he is, right? And it's kind of crazy that now with the injury, it's crazy because now everybody's like, oh man, this was a contract year. Damn, holy shit. Emmanuel Mosley goes down, and it's like, shit, man. Now he doesn't get his big contract that he was on pace to get, right? But now with his injury, you're seeing how valuable Emmanuel Mosley is when he's gone, right? But let me go through some of the comments because I'm seeing some people pop in here. Brian Culp says, what's up, faithful? He says, Shifty, what's up? He says, congrats on over 100,000 plus subs. Hell yeah, bro. Thank you, man. That was dope. That was crazy. It picked up out of nowhere and just took off. What do we have left to trade with? See, first of all, like, people forget, we have a pretty good repertoire of linebackers for one, right? I understand we don't have a whole lot of draft capital. We do have the compensatory third-round picks for next year. And if D'Amico Ryans does head out, now the thing to put this on film, like his defense missing just Emmanuel Mosley, if that's going to make the defense crumble and he continues to put that on film, then it might not be looking very good for him. Now, it was against the Chiefs. How many more teams like the Chiefs are we going to face? We're going to find out pretty quick against the Chargers, I think, who's another very good team. When they can click on all cylinders, when they get it going, they're kind of like a team like the 49ers where they have all the pieces. If they can execute, they can beat anybody, but they can also lose to anybody. Just like the 49ers, it's the same thing. And I never understood why they got rid of some of their coaching staff when they're like, was it Staley? But I never understood why they got rid of a lot of their coaching staff when they had a lot of success. Like Justin Herbert had that breakout season that was super badass. He's super good. So I think when we face the Chargers, that's going to give us a good telltale sign of where we're at as well. Can we come back and build back on, especially, D'Amico Ryans having time to make up missing Emmanuel Mosley. So, like I said, you have the means to trade. We have players we can trade. We still have draft picks we can trade, especially if it's a guy that's already under contract that you can lock him down for years because he's already under contract with another team, especially if you can renegotiate that. Like I've been saying for weeks, and I actually heard Larry Krueger talk about it, but I've been saying it since Emmanuel Mosley went down. William Jackson III, looking at right now, he has an expensive contract, but you can still renegotiate that, restructure it. Like even with Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers can still restructure what they've got going on with Christian McCaffrey. How sure am I that they're going to do that? I don't know, man. They might just, let him stick with that because next year they plan on just giving the team to Trey Lance and that's it, getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, hey, Garoppolo, you can stay here if you want, but you're going to stay for $5 million. And because we need cap space for guys like Bosa, if they keep Bosa. Um, Same thing with Emmanuel Mosley. We're gonna have to see what happens with Brandon Ayuk. They're probably gonna wait another year before they decide to pay him, and wait to see. And speaking of Ayuk, hey man, I have a signed jersey, autographed jersey of Brandon Ayuk. If anybody wants it, if you're interested, let me know. It's going to the highest bidder. I don't want to sell it, but I will because I kind of have to right now. But Last Second Sports, Jesse Naylor, I mentioned him a little bit ago. That hopefully we'll do the show Thursday. He's in here. He says, "What's up, Wolf? Hey, man, it's great to see you in here. That's pretty badass, man. Glad to be on your radar. That's really cool, man. I'm glad to see you in here and the support. I appreciate it, man. Much love, bro. Hope you're having a great night. But yeah, back to Ryan over here. Just to get what the hell? My sorry, the clicker wasn't working, the mouse. But what do we have left to trade, man? Hey, like I said it, the way Garoppolo, if he puts a huge stinker in the Rams game, you can still trade him for Brady, you know, player for player. There's always that too. So, if the 49ers really want somebody, we have so many weapons, we have so many all-stars on our team that they can make things happen. We might not have the draft capital, but we have capital in other ways. So you just got to look at it from the right angle, and you got to make it fit with what the other team needs as well. You got a team like the Panthers who's in complete rebuild mode. CG Ruthless says, "Way to reach 100,000 subscribers, bro. Appreciate it, CG. Good to see you in here, bro. Um, Thanks, man." Brian says, "Let's go, Jesse." Yeah. Jesse Naylor from Last Second Sports says, "We're locked in for Thursday for sure." Hell yeah, bro. Appreciate it, man. It's great for me that you're giving me the time of day. I really do appreciate it, like more than you can know, man. Honestly, so that's badass. And Brian says, "Nice, Wolfcast. I told you to keep grinding." Hey, man, I'm telling you guys, I love all my peoples that have been supporting me since day one, man. But Brian Colb's been like that real MVP that's been in my corner. Like, hey, man, just keep doing it. Like, it's gonna come. Just keep doing it. Don't get demoralized. Just do it, bro. He slides in my DMs and tells me, "Hey, sweetheart, keep it going." But I want to know what you guys think, man. I really do think, like this is a conundrum. We still have a couple weeks to see what's going to go on if the 49ers are going to get this right. But really, is Harbaugh going to get this right? Is DeMeco Ryans going to get this right? I think that's what it's going to fall on. And it's looking pretty sweet to me. Like, I would love to see Harbaugh back here, man, especially if we're gonna get rid of Kyle Shanahan, I still kind of feel a little bit of my heart kind of tugging at that. But it's like, dude, like how much can we bombard you with the things you got to get right, dude? And like even now your players are calling you out. And if you ask the players, they're gonna tell you, no, we're not calling them out. We're just, as a team, we gotta get the ball in the playmakers' hands is what we mean. Yeah, sure, buddy. Okay, yeah, you're full of shit. But I feel it, man. They're put under the spotlight. Let's talk about that Ayuk jersey too. I may cop and auction off for my charity stream on Sunday. Hey, if I'll send it out to you, and just we could figure something out after you auction it off if you want to. I have that one and a Bowman one, but I got to keep the Bowman one for sure, right? Just because of my situation right now, I have to get rid of the Ayuk one, but I could show you real quick. I'll bring it on stream real quick. It's an Arizona State one though, so I don't know how many people are going to want that, but it's badass. Yeah, and I actually got this jersey through a charity, which I was telling people before, because I did like a unboxing video, or part of the live stream on the live stream. It's right there. Brandon Ayuk autographed jersey. Comes with the certifications right here, like the patch and stuff like that. And actually, here's the Bowman one too. This is badass right here too. because we got a bro. He comes in here too from Oklahoma. His name's JT, and he was supposed to go to the 49ers Broncos game and go get autographs from Navarro Bowman. And I was like, damn, man, I wish I could go. Colorado's not that far from me. I'm in Flagstaff, Arizona. So, yeah. Jesse, let me know, man. If you want, I can send off the Ayuk jersey to you, and then we could just figure it out after it gets auctioned off. Like I was saying, I wanted to go to the highest bidder, but whatever it is, man, especially if it's for charity, that'd be super dope. Oh, Brian says he's ready for me to drop the link. All right, bro, here you go. Ask and thou shalt receive. Appreciate it, man. That'd be dope. Haven't talked to my boy Brian in a bit, and yeah, excited to have him in here. Ask him about some of this stuff. I want to know what you guys think about the whole Harbaugh thing, though, because I'm telling you, man, it's really tickling my fancy right now. You know, one thing I was glad to see, but it was kind of demoralizing at the same time, was we did take a shot to Danny Gray for once, right? With Jimmy Garoppolo, not with Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo took a shot to Danny Gray, and he underthrew him, which we thought would be a problem, right? But Danny Gray still had a chance to catch the ball. I don't understand why they didn't take more shots to him, at least another one or two shots. I don't understand that, but I'm glad they took at least one shot, and they can build upon that coming into these next few weeks. Like, especially against the Rams, if Debo if Debo is going to miss his game against the Rams, like I said, he's day to day, right? Get Danny Gray involved, man. You haven't given us a chance to see what Danny Gray has, maybe for some good reason, but like, you can use him in so many ways: trail routes, quick slants, deep posts, deep corners, all that type of stuff. But we got my boy Brian in here. Let me take this down real quick. What's on your mind, bro? How you doing?
Just enjoying the stream. Once again, congratulations, 100 subscribers. I threw the K out there, but you'll get there one day.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Eventually. How you
Let
doing
me,
though, man? How you feeling, like, one day removed from the loss?
well, I predicted the Niners to go 12-5 for the whole season.
Mm,
And whether they go 12-5 or 11-6 or even worse than that, this is just one game. And yeah, you made some good points. Not everybody was healthy. Um, you can't always throw that out there as oh man, we weren't
yeah,
fully ready to go. This guy was out. This guy, you got to suit up. And if you're on a
yeah,
53-man roster, you're good enough to make the team, second string, third string. So you got to produce. And sometimes it's not always the same flavor. It's not always it's a little generic brand. It doesn't taste as sweet or whatever. So um, it is what it is. We didn't, our corners, they were getting outran. Jimmy Ward isn't the fastest guy out there. He got outran for the touchdown. The guy's half of his hand was taped up. I thought it would have
yeah.
been better if he would have had just the club, so he could have like
That's
punched the ball out.
exactly that's exactly what I said. When you got your fingers out there like this, that is super risky. But come on.
I mean, I guess you can grip it, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
Trent Williams giving up the safety, that was on Trent Williams. I know you got to have pocket awareness,
yeah,
in the end zone. I totally understand that. I was third string quarterback. You got to know where you're at on the field at all
yeah.
times. But
Throw the
Jimmy
ball away.
probably would have moved faster if he would have known that guy was coming behind him, and
Yeah,
I don't know, like, to the point yesterday at the game, until we threw the interception in the end zone, we had that fire, but then right then we threw, that everything, we just got extinguished. The team, you could see it. um then when we didn't get the field goal because of the penalty, that just it was just another letdown for the team.
mm,
And I don't want to say the team tanked after that, because they still tried to produce. And that's individual efforts too. Sometimes you're like, no, we can win this game if I just put out a little bit more. But you did see the steam and the audience, the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh man, it got bad because when you have the Chiefs going down scoring almost every possession, what they missed a field goal and we got an interception, right? But everything else was a touchdown. You can't win with field goals. I like special teams. I love talking about special teams, but 3 points is not 6 points. And then special teams comes out and puts another point on the board. So when you're getting 7 points compared to 3 points, you're not going to win games. And I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan when we get the ball at the beginning of the game. I like it when we get it at halftime.
Yeah.
I like it when our
Definitely.
defense goes out and makes that stand, but you know, I'm
Yeah, but
disappointed.
not when they get the ball after the half, like against the Falcons, and then Brandon Ayuk drops that crucial third down pass. If you're gonna start out right, then yeah, I want the ball at the half. But yeah, either way, I feel you, man.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like the offense could be clicking at all
Mhm.
different times of the game, but it seems like when we get into certain situations in third down, we go 3 and out real quick, and that seems to be a big problem because then the other offense seems to go down the field, and it's the Atlanta Falcons. It's been multiple games this year where we don't get those stops on third down, but they stop us on third down. And it's like, whoa, you guys are supposed to practice. You guys are supposed to be like confident enough.
Yeah,
And whatever play we're putting out there on third down, sometimes it's third and long, sometimes it's third and short. And then we're not going for it on 4th and 1. And when you got like somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo who can get 4th and 1, I just don't understand. Like a lot of people's criticized it. I'm a little bit more of a conservative politically, and when I play games, I hold back a little bit.
yeah,
Um, I try to have a dominant defense. I try to have a dominant, a nice base. If that, I have a
definitely.
plan, so I can be conservative. And it seems like when Kyle does, and maybe I'm just saying everything everybody else is saying, but it seems like when Kyle gets to a certain point in the game, he can't audible. He can't change. And I don't think that's true for every game. I think these are just like individual excuses for different games because people said, "Oh, last week, the defense played good. This week they didn't play good." Yeah. Oh, Kyle was genius. Now he's not a genius. So it's just like I don't know. Maybe they're just not in rhythm, and I don't know what it's going to take to get them into rhythm. But I do think CMC coming in is going to help. I think
Yeah.
the bye week's going to help. It's just good. This is going to be a long season.
Well, I think let me say what's up to Jay Realistic here. He says, "What up, Wolf? Niners Empire, bang bang Niner gang, hey, bang bang Niner gang." And because look right here, he Ryan says we're our own worst enemy. So much of the time, I'm assuming he meant. Because I was gonna say that, man. It seems like if it's not the receivers dropping passes, it's the O line whiffing on blocks. It's always somebody, man. And that was kind of what you're alluding to a little bit. And that's what I got from some of that. And it's just like, man, can't we all just execute? Can't we all just execute? Can't we all just get along? Shit. And shit.
Yeah, because this game, everybody seemed to be catching the ball. Last game, they weren't catching the ball, but the O line was good, right? This
Yeah.
week, we're getting silly. Well, both weeks we've been getting silly penalties for the O line, but for the most part, we didn't have to worry about the O line. We were like, oh, everybody's been like, the O line's been questionable all year because of the names on the jersey, but
Mm.
they've been playing really good. And then this week, it's like, oh, now the O line's the problem. So
Yeah, it's a different narrative every week, but like the same at the same time. Same narrative, different story, I guess you could say. And the thing that I was about to say was the good thing about the Christian McCaffrey thing, like you're saying, is in my eyes, okay, the receivers have been dropping passes, and then the O line was the problem this week. CMC's the in betweener, right? Because he's the check down, so he's between Jimmy Garoppolo and or not between Jimmy Garoppolo and the O line, but he's in the middle of the field between the O line and the receivers, so he can kind of take care of that for hopefully the receivers run off coverage and then you can just check down or halfback screen to McCaffrey. He can get the opposing defensive line gassed a little bit, which I still don't understand why we didn't run no more screen passes. Like just even the one with McCaffrey, the one we did, I don't think we did more than one with McCaffrey. for a screen pass was pretty damn nice, right? Seemed like
He,
outside of maybe one carry he had, the rest of every touch he had was beautiful. So, like, what's going on with the screen game?
yeah, he had like 10 plays, I think, the whole game. There was like I want to say he had more than that, but there was 10 touches, and I want to say two or three of them he ran up the middle and he got stopped. But all the other plays, he had like 6 plays for 60 yards or something like that. And I'm not great with stats. I was just seeing him
Right.
yesterday. Um, I'm just a fan that likes to talk, so I'm not always correct on things, but my heart's true. And
Right.
I just I think if they would have even kept him in the game a little bit longer, like other people had said too,
Yeah.
a lot of people said this. If they would have just had him in the backfield, it would have made a distraction.
They
Um,
went they completely went away from a lot of things that were working in the first half when they were having success.
yeah.
McCaffrey being one of those, the run game in general, and then no screens. Uh,
What's your thoughts on them zooming in on like Ayuk and Debo, and it's usually like close to halftime. It's right after we have to punt the ball, getting ready to punt the ball. I don't know if they're trying to like catch their disappointment on their face, or they don't know if the camera crew is trying to make animosity. But I know when we went forth, we had to punt the ball in high school or my team. I don't have a great face, and for them to keep doing, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I've been noticing the last couple of games they keep zooming in on those two guys standing either on the sidelines or the end of the field, and they're not happy. And I totally agree they shouldn't be happy, but I think the media is going to start pushing some stuff.
well, like at the end of the day, it's a show, right? It's entertainment business, and it happens in every game. Really, they're going to put more on blast. Like they show the opposing team celebrating and stuff too, right? Having a good time,
Mm-hmm.
but they're gonna put the magnifying glass on the drama too, right? Which, as a fan and as the content creator as well, it helps because I want to know what's really going on. And when you see the body language on the sideline, like I said, like when Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo were confiding with each other about throwing that pass into triple coverage to Debo Samuel, right? But they were talking with each other. I was like, oh, this is one of the first times I ever see Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan actually like confiding in each other and agreeing on something and saying, hey, yeah, take that shot. And then they end up doing it. It's a horrible decision, but hey, man, it's a horrible decision until it's not. And but like we get to see stuff like that, then
But
you
you
get to
can
see
see,
like
but
if we would,
you seen the good vibes from them. They're like both on the same page,
yeah,
and I that's painting a good narrative. But they keep going back to these two guys on the sideline or like
yeah.
even on the field, and I know they're not happy. But do you think the media is trying to divide the locker room or push more of this because we're losing, or do you think we are starting to lose the locker room already?
Well, I feel like they show regardless. They're showing both sidelines. I think it's magnified more because of all the drama that's going on surrounding Kyle Shanahan. So I think it's kind of just amplifying it. But either way, they show it, and yeah, I think like I said, it's a show, so they want to see the body language and the reactions, whether they're good or bad reactions. That's why you get stuff on camera like Jimmy Garoppolo saying your plays suck, man, or when they get somebody on camera slamming a helmet down on the bench or on the floor, and then it bounces back up and hits them in the face or something, right? That's where all that footage comes from. Yeah, it's a show, so they want that stuff out there because it's all a business. It's all going to contribute in some way. Like it gets all the fans talking to get us doing stuff like this. And then for journalists to ask like controversial questions in the press conferences and stuff, right? So I think it's just all like a full circle thing that, yeah, they're definitely trying to put that stuff out there, like you're saying.
What do you think? You think we got a problem in the locker room right now, or you think winning, just winning cures everything?
I think the players are starting to see what we see. We have way too much talent to be losing like this. And like I was saying yesterday, man, if you go position by position, the 49ers stack up probably better than outside of the quarterback position. The 49ers stack up as a better team against the Chiefs. The 49ers just got out schemed, out coached, and if you ask me. Because look, like I said yesterday, you're hearing me reiterate it. I know um, Mahomes wasn't doing anything miraculous yesterday. I don't think. He was like Andy Reid was just scheming up for these players to be at the right place at the right time. All Mahomes had to do was deliver the ball. He had a pretty clean pocket the whole game. You know, he didn't have to run for his life or anything. He didn't have to throw no crazy no look passes or anything like that to come back and beat us. No, they were beating us in good fashion because their scheme was almost perfect. It seemed like, you know, they were getting the ball to different guys in different ways, which is what Kyle Shanahan is supposed to be doing, right? So I think that's just what it boils down to, and I think the players are starting to see it and getting very frustrated because this is their career, their paychecks, their legacy as well. It's not just the Kyle Shanahan show like he wants to believe.
The 3rd and 20 to McKinnon really hurt us. And is this year? Is this the payback to the 49ers? You know, Pettis got revenge on us. Now what? McKinnon got revenge on us. It's like all these ex 49er players, they're just getting
The,
revenge.
the Turn the Tables tour. Yeah, you're right, though. The revenge tour, man, it's ridiculous. You know what, though? When I was watching Grant's show, I think somebody actually brought that up. They're like, is McKinnon going to have a revenge game? And I think Grant laughed about it. He's like, yeah, sure, McKinnon. He's like, that guy kind of sucks. He never
Yeah,
really liked McKinnon, but
no, I didn't like him, after, well, we traded a lot to get him. So I'm like, okay, well, he must be, and I'm like, he's a decent player, but when you only have like one good season or, and then we trade for you, you know, it is what it is. But they traded and they got hurt in preseason practice or, it's like training camp. And it's like, again, why are these guys getting hurt the way they're getting hurt? And then he came back and he just wasn't the guy that we wanted. And so yeah, we let him go, and he goes to the Chiefs, and he does what he was supposed to do for us, against us. A 3rd and 20, it's like just one of those game breakers. It's just like if the Niners could have just got him right there, they probably
yeah.
maybe put air back into their whole team. But no, it's just one thing after another. We can't keep kicking field goals, when the other team's scoring touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Jay Realistic says, you know what? Actually, real quick, because I always thought McKinnon was pretty good. I thought he wasn't given enough of a shot and put in the right place at the right time, but that's just me. You know, I saw, especially now that he's with the Chiefs, I see all the success he's having. So I just never understood why Kyle Shanahan couldn't get it done with him. I saw the potential. But Jay Realistic says it's all entertainment. Yep, definitely. It's a show. He says fuck the media, but I'm like, hey man, I'm part of the media. I'm media now. But no, like the way I see it, man, is the media is a reflection. Like if the media really wants to make money, like all the content creators are taking grasp of this right now because the fans want to hear the real shit. And if more guys like us, like Grant, that ask the hard questions that fans actually want to know, they could be making a lot more money as journalists, right? And so it seems like some of them are starting to see like the potential for it, and so they're starting to ask harder questions. But still, it's a reflection of what the fans want to hear at the end of the day. So the media is there because of us. They're a reflection of us. So I don't say fuck the media. I would say fuck the fake guys that, are full of shit and just kiss the team's ass. But that's just me.
Yeah, but again, everybody has to tiptoe sometimes into the job the first couple of days, and then after a certain point, you either start
Yeah.
asking the questions or we need to get somebody different. And we don't want everybody to be, asking the why questions. We do want some raw guys in there too, that talk positive. And I'm not saying anyone in particular doesn't talk positive, but you have some people necessarily that talk in a certain narrative, and you have other people that talk in a in a different narrative, and it's not positive or negative. It's just You have
Yeah.
fans that are writers, and you have fans that
Two
aren't
different
writers.
perspectives.
Yeah, you have people who are talking about the 49ers who are on the East Coast. You have people who are talking, from Canada, all over the world. And some people know a little bit more about the team, and some people don't because they're up closer and personal with the team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, you can love them as much as you want. You can read as much as you want, all the articles, listen to all the streams, be in all the chats, and think you're number one. But if you're not like actually at the facility, you don't actually hear what the players are talking about. You don't really know. And that's where, like, people like Grant Cohn and Jack Hammer, and there's other people who get to go to the facilities, Brad, who go to the
Yeah.
training camps and stuff like that, that they give us the facts. They give us those, because we want to know. And yeah, we definitely want to know because it's entertainment. But because it's entertainment, I think we potentially, us as fans, are pushing a dagger into our own team because we want our team to win so bad. You imagine if Trey Lance was in our squad right now and he was losing this bad. Everybody would be like, "Oh, we're a Super Bowl roster and we're not doing good." But now it's Jimmy, so now the excuse is, "Oh, well, it's not the quarterback we wanted to begin with, so it's okay." It's not okay. The Niners are a championship team. We want Super Bowls. We don't want to hang banners. And I know this is all 26-year-old talk, like, okay, yeah, we haven't won a Super Bowl in 26 years, but the mentality is still here. The culture, the fans are still here. You can change ownerships, but
Yeah.
the fans that were with the 80s are still here. They might be 40 or 50 years old, but they're still here. And that's what's important,
Yeah.
being faithful.
Well, it's just like me as a fan when I watch the press conferences and I'm like, none of these questions are like relevant, man. You're being way too soft, and this is not the stuff we want to hear. This is not the stuff we want to know about. Like, we want more. We want something else, something that, Kyle Shanahan is probably going to give a snarky comment, but we want to know shit. And it's kind of like I'm pulling my hair out about that stuff, but I understand completely what you're saying. And, I thought you brought a great point about the 49ers kind of being like sticking a dagger in our own team in a way where, we might be shooting ourselves in the foot when it comes to that stuff because um, fans could be causing a lot of drama within the team and the organization without even realizing it.
Yeah, because we have too many people who want to nickname each other Jimmy Stans or Trey Lance fans. Yeah, and I mean that's
Yeah.
funny, but it's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of teams out there that don't want to pay for like a certain player's contract, but they'll snatch up a 49er, given the opportunity real quick because a lot of players on our team, can be successful other places. I don't, everybody knows, you put Jimmy in the right system, he could possibly be decent. You put, anybody, in the right system, they could be decent.
Yeah.
It's just about putting the right pieces around them. But I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm here to say it's the Niners first, and
Yeah.
injuries happen. I'm really upset that we lost yesterday, but I kind of figured that we were going up against a really high powered offense, and there's a good chance we might lose, but I still keep thinking every game, is there an opportunity for us to win? Yeah, there's an opportunity. And maybe I trick myself in my head and say, oh, special teams is going to do good, or we're going to come up with a fumble. Hey, special teams came up with the fumble, so things like that happen. The muff punt happened, so it's like there's always a chance, that's why you suit up. You never know if you're going to beat this team because if you knew you're going to beat them, you wouldn't be even playing the game at all. There's no reason, right? It's a 50-50 shot,
Or or you might get a game like when we keep getting beat by the Falcons like every year almost when
Well,
they're
and see,
supposed to be an easy walkover.
yeah, and see, a lot of
Yeah.
people will say exactly what you're saying. They're an easy walkover, but the Falcons aren't an easy walkover. We have a lot of history with them. We took Deion
Yeah.
Sanders from them. We used to play him twice a year in the conference. Then Chris Chandler and our championship game or playoff game, we lost Garrison Hurst, broke his ankle really bad. Kind of ended the dynasty for the Niners right there. Then look, Crabtree and Kaepernick have the division game against Matt Ryan, and we go to the Super Bowl. then the pick at the stick. There's a lot of history. Even if those players aren't still there, the fans know the Falcons and the Niners have a good little rivalry.
Yeah.
And
For real.
to say like the Falcons or the Saints or even the Panthers, we used to play them guys all the time. Don't ever count them out because there's a lot of fans that they get loud for that game. And, when you
Yeah.
get loud in the game, it brings more, you know,
More juice.
yeah, for your team.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah. Don't underestimate morale, right? It could make a big difference. You get a team some morale and get the crowd going for them, and they start building a little bit of confidence. You might have a problem on your hands, no matter how bad their record is. Any given Sunday.
Yeah, and it's been shown like we probably should have lost that game last year against the Packers. Jimmy had some nice throws that players weren't catching, and it doesn't matter if they don't catch it, you got to punt the ball. But then special teams comes in and makes that block, and then we win the game with a field goal. Then
Yeah.
we weren't the better team in that moment right then. We were really beat up. So all right, Wolf. So we are 3-4 right now.
Yeah.
Are you in the same mindset that you were last year with this team, or since this team was able to pull off, a miracle run, do you believe that we're okay right now?
I think I am in the same mindset as I was last year. Not as bad on the defense because I think outside of like Josh Norman, our defense was pretty good last year. But even he had like those peanut punches and stuff too, right, to make up for some of his lot what he was lacking. But I'm in pretty much the same mindset as far as still wait and see. It's still, I mean, we're about halfway through the season almost. So it's very frustrating, but we still have time to wait and see. But I'm starting to flirt with Jim Harbaugh a little bit. I would I would I would love to see that, man. I'm just so tired of Kyle's shit. And I want to know what you think as well, like Jay Realistic says and what I kind of touched on there about, do you think the players are getting sick of Kyle Shanahan? Because I think it's starting to come out in public.
Well, okay, so that's what I was kind of touching on with you earlier is like, are we getting divided in the locker room? Because you're going to have people
Yeah.
that believe in the coach, and you're going to have people that are starting to be like more friend sensitive. That's my buddy, man. That's my quarterback, right? So what? I don't want to play for this other guy because he's not my quarterback. I don't believe in the coach anymore. Well, when you voice too much of your opinion, you will either get traded or the franchise will end up doing something with the coach. So if there's a mutiny that happens soon, then yeah, Kyle could end up losing his job real quick because this is a really good team, and we've locked up a lot of players for a couple years. So we have like all the key pieces for the next couple years for another player to come in, another coach to come in and just start playing.
Yeah.
For Kyle to maybe get too conservative, people say, or found out, or just he does 20 plays and then he can't change. I think maybe the players are getting upset with Kyle because this has been a couple years now. But
Yeah.
for me to be honest with you, I can't tell you that they're at that point just yet. That's why, like I was saying too, with like the pictures, of Debo and Ayuk on the sidelines in their helmets, and they're rolling their eyes up in the air. Yeah, they want the ball, they want to score. So are they only fret up right now because of the game, or is this something built up over time? I can't tell
Oh,
you honestly because I'm just a fan looking in. I could tell you that I'm getting a little upset because it does seem like the injuries continue to be the excuse. And at what point are the injuries not the excuse, and you just didn't call the right play because you could have went for it on fourth and you guys went out there to go kick the field goal, and you got a false start, and now you backed it up. So now you're going to punt the ball. You punt the ball. There's only like a minute, 2 minutes left in the game. You punt the ball, right, and then they score on us real quick, right? Or
yeah.
I know that was the interception, but that's the same mentality. It's like, okay, if you know they're going to score, why don't you just go give just try it. If you don't believe in your defense, or if you do believe in your defense, go for it on fourth down, 4th and 9, 4th and 20. Go for it on fourth down and let your defense stand up and be the number one defense. If they need to come up with a stop or an interception, then we need the other guy on the other side of the field, D'Amico Ryan, or on the other side, into the sideline. He needs to be thinking for himself and thinking how his squad is going to, we're one squad, we're one team, but don't worry about defense. Let D'Amico worry about defense. You worry about offense. Your
Yeah.
offensive coordinator come in. And I I think there's going to be a boiling point. Honestly, I think if we keep losing games, then yeah, it could get ugly. As far as to be honest with you, I think players are starting to get upset with Kyle. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think so too. And it's crazy because the schedule is supposedly supposed to get easier from here on out, right? I
Right.
mean, it's been pretty easy up until this point. It's just the 49ers have been fucking it up. And the Chiefs were like probably the only real good team that the 49ers have faced. The Falcons are still decent. I wouldn't put them up there. It was crazy. Did you see the Panthers whoop on the Buccaneers?
Yeah. And that was the other thing, like that was like for me be questionable, like a good game for us, because Tom
Yeah.
Brady, who's always going to be for affordable, for yeah, and you think okay, well maybe I think they play us at home, and like I'm thinking okay that might be a good game for us, because the faithful's going to be loud and stuff, but we're not
Mm.
doing too good at home. We're not doing good at home.
Hard times. Jeez, man. And you know what? Actually, I think Jackhammer pointed it out that the 49ers, well, now it's 7-8 against the Chiefs in NFL history. And
Yeah,
we were
excluding the Super Bowl.
up into this point, yeah, excluding the Super Bowl, up until this point, we were undefeated at home against the Chiefs in the regular season. That sucks. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, the one that was way worse though was being undefeated in the Super Bowl and then giving that up. But yeah, we had a pretty decent history tied up with the Chiefs, just but undefeated streak here at home. But I do think the players are getting sick of it, man, and it kind of sucks because if Kyle does pile up a couple wins here, but he still hasn't made the corrections, and we go into the playoffs and have to face the better teams, yeah, we might not get rid of Kyle in time to start building on next year. I think. Uh-oh. Is that my side? That's my side, huh?
yeah.
Whoops. Yeah. Um, how do you feel about the Harbaugh thing, man?
I like Jim Harbaugh, but I'm not too excited to just like switch off Kyle to go to Jim Harbaugh. I think the players would be kind of upset about that. The players that do like Kyle, but
We
if
just we just established they're pissed off at Kyle.
but the half that isn't pissed off at him, I don't think they would be liking the change. It's like you got half your team who's like, yeah, this is Kyle. We believe in Kyle, and the other half's like, I'm ready to change. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're like, well, they signed my paycheck, so I'm just gonna go to work. If they
You
brought
know
in
what?
Harbaugh, that would be kind of crazy. With moving that
Definitely.
happen, but
Definitely.
I don't know if he's really even the answer at this point.
Well, look, man, the way I see it, a lot of the players they say what they have to say in the press conferences. It's not always exactly what they feel, right? And the guys that are coming out in public and saying this stuff are like the veteran leaders of this team. Ayuk hasn't been here as long as some of these other guys, but he's still a leader on this team. We heard all this stuff during the offseason of him training with the other wide receivers and trying to get them on the same page while Debo was going on with his stuff on the contract negotiations, right? So he's one of the veteran wide receivers that a lot of the other guys look up to, and he's coming out in public doing this. Kittle, we all know the pull that Kittle has on this team and on the fan base. Same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. And he's another guy, your plays suck. So I think that says it all. Those are the leaders, and some of the other guys are kind of just quiet. They won't say it, but they're frustrated. They're pissed the hell off. And I think it's pretty obvious to see
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. Kyle is he's either got the locker room right now still believing in him, or he's just totally given up. Um, I don't think he's giving up on himself, but he either has the players believing in him or they're starting to give up on him. You can only go so many games and say injuries are the problems. And you can only go so many games and say execution is a problem. If you're not if you're not giving them the right calls to be successful, then you're not. You can't say you're the guy who's driving the ship. If you say go for it on 4th and 1 and they don't get it, okay, well at least you showed the team that you believe in them. At least you showed the team that you know we're gonna try. But when you say, oh no, just punt the ball, you're showing the team, the defense and the offense that you don't believe in it. And sometimes you gotta believe, the guy didn't make the catch last time, but he has an opportunity to make it this time. But if you don't even give him that shot, then you're telling your team as a coach you don't believe in your squad. And maybe that's what the squad's getting upset about is saying, hey Kyle, yeah, it's 4th down, but just give us one more shot. I believe he's really worried about his win record loss. I believe he's really ready to move off of Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's got to be able to keep his quarterbacks healthy. And this is Trey Lance now. He's gotten hurt. He got RG3 hurt, and he's got Jimmy Garoppolo hurt. We can go through the other quarterbacks that he's had, and I'm sure he's gotten them hurt too. CJ Beathard used to stand up there and just get beat really bad because we didn't have a line, and he just kept standing up there and getting sacked. And he wasn't mobile enough. He wasn't play calling. CJ was really mobile, and CJ had a really deep arm too, but he got hit so many times. I think it really messed with him in the career. He's another fan, another team favorite that got traded away that the team really liked. The team really likes CJ. Whether or not us as fans like CJ, everybody, oh, we need a different quarterback. Well, he was good enough for the practice squad, and the team wanted him. He also was Kittle's quarterback in college, so that's why they had a lot of chemistry right there. I just can you blame it all on Kyle? No, I don't know. Can you blame it all on injuries? But no, somebody's got to be the reason to be blamed, right? Um, if Jed York, okay, so what's Jed York going to be blamed for? Oh, he shouldn't have fired. He should fire Kyle sooner. He should have stood up and did something sooner. At the end of the game, at the end of the day, the players have to make the plays, and the players have to execute. If you're not healthy, you can't execute. If the coach doesn't call the right play, then you still have to do something. Man, I am so glad to see you.
What I was
I,
talking about, man.
I I tell you, when I get a show, I'm gonna have a little script, so I can keep looking down and thinking of something to say.
I feel it. I feel it, man. It's always when I'm like mid rant too. When I'm about to pop off, it always cuts me off, dude. But at least I always have a co-host that has my back. Great co-host, man. Damn, that's so frustrating. I don't know what the issue is, man. Every time, every night, you see it happen, right?
I keep telling people when I'm in the chat, just keep talking. He'll be back.
uh, now you were put in the spot. Damn, bro. Jeez. Hey, thank you though. I really appreciate it. But Jay Realistic says, and Marquise Goodwin is with the Seahawks now. He's going to want some vengeance. I was watching him. Did you know Marquise Goodwin is on the Seahawks now?
Yes,
Huh?
yes.
Oh, did you watch him at all?
He played against us week 2 or something like that when we played the Seahawks. Week
He
Yeah, week 2, week 3 when we played the Seahawks week 3, right?
did he? Was he in that game? I
Yeah,
forgot.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Because we had Pettis in against the Chicago Bears, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just funny because like I said it earlier, all these 49er players are going to all these other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing okay.
Yeah. For real vengeance games, man. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Seems like he's gaining momentum week by week, man. He's looking pretty good. I mean, I'm happy for him. Too bad it didn't work out with the Niners, but I still think we're gonna whoop on the Seahawks. We're mostly the same team, minus Mosley. So, and then we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen with the linebackers, man, because I don't know if Drake Greenlaw is gonna play this week.
Yeah, he got hurt, didn't he, against in the last
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah, I didn't get to hear what it was, but it looked like a calf strain or just, some tightness in his calf, it looked like, because he had one of those heat massager things on there, something, the compression.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so, and then I guess he was talking about it in the locker room with Larry Kruger. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Larry Kruger was interviewing him, and he's like, how do you feel? And he's like, man, dude, I'm beat up. Like, I'm feeling pretty broken down right now. And that was a week or two ago already. So, you could imagine how he feels now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to play in this game. I don't know how it's going to look. So I'm curious to see. But the good thing is that, we do have depth at the linebacker position. So that's why, like, when I get asked, what are we going to trade? I'm like, we're stacked at linebacker. So we could always trade a linebacker, or opportunities like this where Alshire isn't ready to go either. So Fowles and Castro Fields have to be ready to go as well. So glad I have those guys, but we'll see if Greenlaw plays. I
Yeah,
don't.
and then I heard somebody else say this too, and I've heard it before. But what would be so crazy about maybe throwing Jimmy Ward in as a linebacker for 1 or 2 games?
Nickel packages, man. That's what I would think too. Um, Fast guy, hits pretty good, but the thing is, he. I mean, I feel like he's gotten a little smarter about it, but he jumps in there like a flying missile, kind of like Hufanga, but he's not as young as Hufanga is the thing. So yeah, if it's, I mean, for me, if it's like a passing down, like a third and long, that's when I put him in those packages with Lenore on the inside, and then keep Gibson and Hufanga over the top. That's what I would do. But if the fans upset with Kyle, I can imagine the players. Hey man, see, the players are a little biased. They've had a lot of success under Kyle Shanahan. They've all gotten paid is the thing, right? So I think it took them a little longer to see what the fans have been seeing for a while. That's how I see it.
Well, honestly, you've had fans that's went several different ways. But you have fans that don't like Kyle because he lost the Super Bowl, and we should have got rid of him after he lost the Super Bowl. We have fans who don't like Jimmy Garoppolo because he lost the Super Bowl. You have fans that say, "Oh, we should have got rid of him after his ACL injury," and I mean, you can't say that really and be like, 100% correct because there's been players that's come back and did good after they've had a really bad injury. But yeah, in hindsight, we probably should have got rid of him, against the Chiefs when he hurt himself. We probably should have got Tom Brady that following year. There's a lot of, oh, we should have done this and this. There's fans that come out and will say, oh, well, we passed up on Patrick Mahomes. Okay, well, if you and me are a scout and we say, okay, let's pick this guy right here. He's got all the attributes, everything. He's going to be good to go, right? And we
Yeah,
score on him. We score on him, and we're like, cool, we got a job next year, right? And the next 3 or 4 years, we pick bums, right? With that
yeah.
one guy who plays like 12 seasons, does that validate us? No, it's like a lottery draft pick, man. It's like you don't know if you're gonna get it right or wrong. You can say, oh well, he's got everything. He's gonna be that guy.
I
But
have
then,
a really great example for you. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Yeah.
yeah, we should have
Oh, you
taken
got
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, in some people's eyes, you got the GOAT, they say, right? But okay, how many Super Bowls you guys go to though? You guys might have this badass quarterback, but what about everything else? Even when you had Devontae Adams, you guys couldn't do shit. You won during the regular season, and then what? every time you get to the NFC Championship against the 49ers, um, Aaron Rodgers gives it away because he's a 49er fan.
Yeah, and that might be funny, really, if he really is doing that. But no, that's a good point.
Imagine
You got a really good
he's like,
quarterback,
dang. He's
but
like
that
Chucks.
you make a really good comparison and point too, though. In maybe if you think of it this way too, if he would have came to the 49ers and when he would have had seven different coordinators and
Yeah,
7 years or 8 years, would he still be Mr. Aaron Rodgers? Alex Smith, I believe it was his first game, injured his shoulder. So, like having the same career, he didn't get to sit for 4 years.
yeah. If
He
roles
didn't.
were reversed, he Rodgers would probably not have gotten benched for Kaepernick, but I think their careers still would have been pretty similar as to like role reversal. Like Alex Smith would have been closer to what Aaron Rodgers has accomplished versus Aaron Rodgers probably would have been in a similar boat to what Alex Smith went through. So I think, yeah, definitely circumstances played a huge part in their careers.
Yeah. And with all those intangibles and stuff like that, you think, okay, well, if we had a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, they probably would have invested more on a wide receiver at that point, or even tried to trade for it. We had some pretty good wide receivers through that. We had Brandon Floyd. We had a couple of different Brandon Lloyd. We had a couple of
Lloyd,
different.
yeah,
We had a couple of different like guys that could have really done good, but we didn't have the team, that we could go deep with, or we didn't have,
yeah,
and I mean, so, but yeah, differently. If they had flipped those careers, it might have been definitely a different story. You don't know if Aaron Rodgers really would have been better or not. So that's again going back to like people to be like, oh, Kyle didn't draft this guy, he didn't draft this guy. Okay, well, we weren't in the room, and we don't know if he was trying to draft for strength, or if somebody else was saying, no, it's my pick right now, or we're picking this, and he just had to eat it because, yeah, he's the head coach, but he doesn't have all the say, or whatever it is. But yeah,
yeah. It doesn't help when you have picks like Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster and stuff like that too. So I think that's
yeah,
part of that criticism.
yeah. Because what Solomon Thomas, his first game too, he got hurt. It was his first or second game, he got a concussion, and then just never was the same after that. And then Reuben Thomas, he
Foster,
was
Foster.
Reuben Foster. He is a personality conflict. The Niners don't have players like that. They don't deal with players like that. You get like a DUI on the Niners team, you get cut. So for them to have somebody wild like him, because of his star potential, it just didn't work out for him. The
Just
Niners
ask
don't.
Alden Smith.
Yeah. Well, I think he really got. I think he got let go because he beat up Kaepernick's car.
He did a bunch of things, man. He just wouldn't stop. It was
Yeah. Well,
ridiculous. It's like, come
when
on,
Kaepernick took
man.
his girlfriend away from him, it kind of made him go crazy. So
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
that's
I
that's
never
why
understood.
maybe we shouldn't bring back Harbaugh because right now we don't have players taking each other's girlfriends, and Harbaugh, that happened underneath
That,
his. You
that
know,
was definitely not him. I understand the mindset he was drafting for, though, man. That's one tough ass 49ers team.
yeah,
So I
you heard,
understand the mindset that he was drafting for. Go ahead.
yeah. I was gonna say, well, did you hear him say, like in the press conference the other day, they had a pretty special team, and when their guys hit, they could hear the air come out of the other player.
Oh yeah. Oh, you could hear almost the soul come out of the other player, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
I liked him talking like that. That did bring up a lot of good memories.
right? Hell yeah. Like Dante Hittner's hit on who was it on the Saints? Pierre? No, was it
Pierre
Pierre
Gasol or
Thomas?
something like that. Pierre Thomas.
No, Pierre Garcon was on the 49ers. I think it was
Yeah.
Pierre Thomas was a running back for the Saints, and he
Okay.
knocked him out cold before he even hit the ground. He was out cold, dropped the ball and everything. That was
Was
such a
that?
badass play, man. Huh?
Oh no, I was getting confused with the player, but you're right.
And
That was a good play. That was a good squad. We beat the Saints like
fuck yeah,
two, three
man.
years right there. 2, 3 years in the
And
playoffs. We were owning them.
and even like Dante Hittner when he cracked Steven Jackson and then Patrick Willis, I forget who he hit. but he knocked him out cold too. I think it might have been against the Jets. I forget, but damn, they used to lay some hits on these guys, man. You
The
don't really
game,
see that anymore, huh?
the game I wanted them to win that they came up really they didn't come up really short on, but I think they really wanted to win it too. Was the Minnesota game with Favre?
Yeah, man, that one pissed me off, dude. What kind of miracle do you got to pull out of your ass for that, man?
Ah,
Was
jeez.
that like a 60, 70-yard bomb with two toes in the back of the end zone? Holy shit. That shit pissed me off so bad. Oh my God. That was
That just
Adrian Peterson's rookie year, I think.
that, that goes into showing that like when you have a coach who believes in their quarterback, let him go out there, let him go out there and make that play. And that's what
Well,
Favre did.
to be fair, Favre was established as a great, I think, is part of it though. But you're right. Either way,
Yeah,
man, they gotta do that for Lance. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what makes the deal. Like if we could get it done with Harbaugh, I think that's what makes it sweeter. Is because he's already shown with two different quarterbacks, the only two quarterbacks he had in the NFL, they were super successful. Both of them. No matter what you wanted, pick your poison, man. You want a pocket quarterback or you want like a super dual threat quarterback.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
be 100% honest with you. If they
What's
said
up?
tomorrow he got fired and Kyle got fired and the Niners are bringing it, I would be okay hearing them say they bring in Harbaugh.
You'd
But
be okay.
I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be mad, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be
Blasphemy.
like, oh man, you guys are screwing up. I wouldn't say anything. I'd just be like, oh wow. I'd be
So
kind of really excited because it's like we're not going to be missing a beat, but I'm
because
not
look
ready
at
to
the
give up. I'm not ready to give up just yet on this regime, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I know it's been 6 years, and yeah, can't give everybody excuses for injuries, and he doesn't have his quarterback. I get that, but um, yeah, I just think we're really, really close, and that's what's kind of alarming too, is because I think the players know we're really close. So if they start giving up on Kyle now,
Yeah.
that dream's gone.
Yeah, I understand that. But here's the thing. Let's say we finish the season, we get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Then they fire Kyle. Season's over. Then they fire him. Do you have any reason why you wouldn't want Harbaugh after that?
No, bring Harbaugh in. At that point, my only question would be like, does Harbaugh train Lance, or do we start over with somebody else, or do we go with an elite quarterback? Like, is that the time that Harbaugh gets united with Tom Brady, or do we bring in an Aaron Rodgers at that point? Because um, with
No.
us firing Kyle, Trey Lance and Kyle are kind of like a package deal at this point, aren't they?
Well, check this out. No, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. If they're going to do the thing with Harbaugh, he has to develop Trey Lance and have strings attached. I think, if the 49ers kiss his ass and give him everything he wants, the one catch has to be you have to develop Trey Lance the way you did with Kaepernick and Alex Smith. That's the thing. You've shown you can do it. Colin Kaepernick was a rookie and he blew how could you say, he exploded onto the scene of the NFL. And he just put everybody on notice, right? With the rookie quarterback. So he can do the same thing with Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is way more gifted than Kaepernick. He can do what Kaepernick did and more. I think he's smarter. So yeah, I think that has to be the caveat. Not only that, like if you get Tom Brady, like I don't see that they could do that. The whole plus of having Trey Lance as well as developing him and his potential is his rookie contract, and you sign a guy like CMC who should be around for a few years, and I still hope they restructure his contract. Well, the thing is, with all the contracts flying around, you need somebody cheap like Trey Lance. So I don't think you could pay a quarterback.
So with everything that's happening with Tom Brady and his divorce and everything,
Yeah,
how much do you think Tom Brady would really want to cost the Niners to come even play here? Would he even entertain the? Yeah, I mean,
5 million.
yeah. So
Yeah,
if you're willing to pay him that much, I think the Niners would. entertain that offer next year, especially if Harbaugh came in and said he wanted somebody that was established.
It's not about the money for him. So
No,
we already know that. So that's the promising thing about it. Aaron
I think,
Rodgers is more of a diva, so that would probably cost a lot more,
yeah,
especially since he's already under contract. So
I think
then,
Tom Brady's still a potential player on our team, whether or not people
yeah.
want to hear it or not. I think Aaron Rodgers, the longer it goes, he's not going to be because he's getting the money right now.
Well,
Tom Brady's
that's what.
already won and he's already got his money, so now he just wants to play
Yeah,
on his team that he wanted to when he was a kid.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've been saying and I was like, I know some people might think I'm crazy, but I'm just asking the question, and I'm just saying, when I think about things, what I see is this game could be a determining factor on whether we trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Buccaneers. And I asked Grant Cohn. I said, this game could determine whether we decide to trade Jimmy Garoppolo or whether we decide to trade for Tom Brady. And he says, trade what? And I was like, Jimmy Garoppolo. You can do a straight up trade. Brady, he has the leverage. Hey, I brought you guys a Super Bowl. I just want to go to my home team, to
Yeah.
my childhood team. Do this for me. You guys still get a good quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's a win-win.
I agree with you. I think he does have the amount of strength or muscle in the organization at Tampa. If he said he wants to leave, I did get you guys a championship. Um, do this for me. I think they might make him play this season, and I think once he's done with this season, I think he's going to be able to leave because he wanted to retire and then they didn't want to let him go and all that. You remember the noise coming, this off season. He might come to the Niners,
Yeah.
all the way up until the draft day, or until he got. I was thinking, oh, we might get him, but then when Bruce Arians, I think, came out and said he doesn't want Jimmy Garoppolo, that kind of like killed that story for me. So now I don't, I'm not hoping for it, but that's like the same kind of dreaming, or and I don't want to say you're silly, but like saying Harbaugh's coming back, that
Right.
potentially is reality. It could happen.
Yeah.
Saying the same thing with Tom Brady, saying he could come this way. His name keeps getting brought up almost every year. His name and Aaron Rodgers, and the Niners don't seem to want Kirk Cousins. The Niners don't want him. The fans don't want him. The only
I
ones
hope
who
not.
want him is Kyle. So
Yeah.
um, if Kyle does leave, we're not bringing in Kirk Cousins, and maybe that what's stopping us from getting one of those elite quarterbacks, like we're talking about, is Kyle. Um, and I don't understand that. Like, why would you want to cut your nose off
Despite
to
your
say,
face.
yeah, you're like, I want to win a Super Bowl. The fans want to win a Super Bowl. So you take somebody like Aaron Rodgers, or you take somebody like Tom Brady. If we would, Kyle's been here 6 years, and we've had an opportunity to get Tom Brady like what 4 times legitimately.
Uh,
If we would have got him, we could have had maybe 1 or 2 Super Bowls with this roster right now. So for you to be like, oh no, I don't want to win a Super Bowl with a veteran. I want to do it on my own. Okay, this guy's going to retire probably after 1 or 2 Super Bowls, and, and then you're going to have a team you can go and pick anybody you want, and they're still going to be like, we got a championship roster, and you can start just developing your just like what you're doing right now. But we got the hardware already. So for you to not want to win a Super Bowl, I just don't. I don't
do
get
you
that.
want to win or not? Do you want to
Yeah,
win or not?
yeah.
Shit.
Do you want to win or
Shit, man.
not?
Yeah, I feel
You
you,
get
man.
somebody like Mike Holmgren or Sean Payton, or somebody, one of these older coaches to come in. Um, we're gonna win a Super Bowl because we
Yeah.
got the talent. So if it's just Kyle getting in the way of himself, or not being confident in the offense, or confident in the defense, I thought that's what we brought Anthony Lynn in for. Anthony Lynn was supposed to be like, hey, I got you, man. I'm right here with you. We're gonna do this, or that
Put our heads
shoulder.
together.
I don't see him on the field. I don't know if you see him on the field or if he's in the press box. I don't. I'm gonna ask Grant where he's at.
Where you at, though?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
where
feel
he's
you, man.
thinking.
I haven't seen him in a while either. And yeah, it's like these other coaches. You get another good coach. A good coach is gonna he doesn't need to be the star of the show, man. He wants a star quarterback so that he can win and they can win together. You know, Kyle Shanahan is super weird about it with his ego. I don't understand it. This vanilla quarterback he wants to have like a Kirk Cousins and Mac Jones. Like I don't know if you heard me talking about it earlier. Mac Jones just got benched today for a rookie. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. So crazy stuff to me. But Brian, I think I'm gonna shut it down here in a little bit. I'm just gonna read J Realistics comment and talk about it real quick, if that's all
Hey,
right
thanks
by
for
you.
having me on. Thanks for having me on as always. I'll jump off. I'll see you next stream. Keep grinding. I'll keep doing my part on my side to keep pushing the good vibes, because we want to have channels like yours that are out there that people can call in and talk and feel good about. And what I like about you most is I think you are open to all opinions, and you're calm
Yeah.
enough to talk about the opinion, whether or not you agree with it or not. You can see both sides about it, and we got a lot of great contenters out there, and just appreciate your vibe and what you're bringing to the table. And once again, keep grinding, man. And I'll see you next time.
Likewise, bro. I appreciate you a lot, man, and I feel the same way about you, man. Great that we connected and all that. And I hope that Brian has a great night. We got to do more streams together, man. You got to co-stream with me more often. But what Jay Realistic says here is I forgot about Castro Fields, man. Where the hell has he been? Hey, I feel it, man. He's been waiting in the wings pretty much, and you know we're stacked at linebacker, so that's part of the reason, right? But I think we're gonna find out pretty soon where he's at. He might get some playing time this week, and yeah, we're gonna see what he's all about. Especially this might be a good time to get him some reps against the Rams. Rotate him with Greenlaw. If Greenlaw does play, rotate him in and out, give him breaks. So, which I know they already do that. They put like fouls in, Flanagan fouls, or Foles, however you say it, fouls, Foles, tomato. I don't know, but yeah, I think we're gonna find out sooner than later. Until Alshire comes back too is the other thing too. So we got to keep an eye on all that. But he's still here is a good thing. So we're stacked, man. And that's if we don't end up using him at all, then at the end of the day, he can be draft capital or trade capital, I should say. But he says Kirk Cousins and Mac Jones equals trash. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one, bro. I wouldn't want either of those quarterbacks on my team at all, not even close. I would take Garoppolo over either of those guys. For like, he's already established with this team. He knows the playbook and all that. I would just stick with Trey Lance at this point, and anybody else is just a backup unless it's. I might make the exception for like Tom Brady. That's about it. Like people want to trade for Aaron Rodgers. He has a super expensive contract, man. I don't. He's such a diva. I don't think he would be willing to restructure that very much. So, and I think the Packers are super crazy for doing that for him. Like, Devontae Adams is out the door. Like, who do you expect Aaron Rodgers to have success with at receiver? I don't know. I didn't understand the logic. Jeez. Sorry, guys. Um, J Realistic, thank you, man, says Brian. Hey, Brian, thank you. Like I said, I don't know if you got to hear, but you got to come co-stream with me more often, man. I love everything you always have to say, man, and it was my pleasure to have you here as always, man. I appreciate you, and that was great. We had a great show, man. Everybody who was in here, I appreciate all of you guys. Everybody who contributes and helps and just watches, even from the wings, peeping toms. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna sign off on this note, and I hope everybody has a great night. My fellow Niner gang, you guys take